So what's going on, guys? Hope everyone is having a good day. So I got my iPad Pro right here, really thin M4. Got an iMac, kind of a workstation. It's not super up to date, but it's got my RAID and it's got all the little stuff, Wacom, tablet, microphone. And I don't always want to be sitting at my computer. I would rather just be chilling in this chair, for example, sitting on a couch, laying on a couch, laying in my bed, doing anything other than just being forced to be at my computer, which is why I love the freedom and flexibility of having something so small like an iPad Pro. So with that being said, hold on. So being able to edit in a chair, somewhere relaxed, just kind of cruising, and having the ability to use DaVinci Resolve, now 19, which supports the micro color panel, which is kind of the premise of this video, or I can use LumaFusion, or I could use Final Cut Pro now. So I have a lot of options with this iPad Pro M4, or an M2, or whatever your weapon of choice, but these iPad Pros are very killer little devices that give you the flexibility of being free, and that's a really cool thing, being freed up from your computer or even a laptop. It's just a different experience. People who edit on their iPad Pros do know this. Obviously, Blackmagic Design came out with the iPad Pro version for a reason. They came out with this thing now, this micro color panel, for a reason too. So right now, there's a little slot here for the iPad Pro. It's kind of like a hard plastic. I wish it was some kind of nice rubber design, because this thing is $2,500. It's the M4, 2 terabyte, yada, yada, yada. So this Apple Smart Folio case, which it is in now, to protect it, if I want to put it in this little slot, guess what? I got to take this thing out of the case. And this is the M4, so it's really thin. So I'm sure, I don't even know if it will work with the M2. Let me know in the comments below. I believe it should, as long as it's supporting DaVinci Resolve 19. But regardless, this little slot is super thin, kind of plasticky, and I personally don't want to chance having this thing get scratched up or beat up. And I wish it would fit with a little bit more leeway, having this case on it while it was in the actual holder. But I digress. We probably wouldn't even use this. The more I've been looking at some stuff and playing around with it, I would simply keep it in front of my iPad, using this the same way, obviously not on my lap like this, which is, again, a limitation. If I'm wanting to edit like I have been, and I've made money, got a lot of clients happy, totally did the color grading and everything just with my Apple Pencil Pro and this iPad Pro with the Smart Folio case. So very minimal setup, and it works and worked, and yeah, no complaints. But now I would have to be at a table or something to have this, because I'm not going to have that in my lap, and obviously just doesn't make any sense. So at least to eliminate the whole thing with putting the iPad in here, I probably would never put my iPad in this actual holder and simply work somewhere else just to have this thing, you know, as an option if I wanted to. And probably this would be a nice little option for the desktop. Maybe keep it where my Wacom tablet is, and when I'm color grading, just use this thing, connect it, and call it a day. But now, I guess the intended purpose is to color grade all your footage at once and then go ahead and edit. You can't edit your footage with this. You can't go ahead and cut and paste and trim. That's not what this thing is intended for. At least I don't believe you can. I don't think you can. I believe this is only for the color panel section of Resolve 19. So that means you got to color grade all your footage with this, and then go ahead and piece it together. I just see it as kind of a pain in the butt, but it is very slick. The knobs are very nice. They got a great feel, and I think you just kind of have to get into a different workflow. But you also now have to learn a new piece of hardware, right? So I don't know. Do you want more to learn, or do you want to work with what you have? To me, less is still more. I really, the older I get, believe that. It just feels like I don't want to learn more hardware, more tech. I want to actually get away from that and just create and have fun and make videos and content. But this is pretty minimal. It's micro, and I guess it's a good, easy way to get into the world of this little panel system. I don't even know what they would call it. I guess color grading hardware, and play around. So you have stuff like, I already played around a little bit. You have, you know, for me, a good thing is knowing where the undo, where are you? But here on the left side, you have undo, redo. There's a modifier key, shift, bottom shift or something. You know, you just have to play around with it and figure it out. And that's going to take some time and muscle memory and all of that kind of good stuff, or maybe bad stuff. I don't know. It depends on what you want to do. If you're younger and you're, you know, in the beginning of your game, this thing's a really cool thing. But personally, as I said, the older I get, I don't want to fumble with more stuff. What isn't broken, why fix it? I mean, this iPad Pro with the Apple Pencil combo works perfectly well. I deliver jobs to clients, get paid. You could make thousands with just this little thing. I never felt the need, like I was lacking in color grading. But now that I'm playing around with it, I do see that it is pretty cool to have these little finesse controls, and it's kind of like a video game. You just kind of dial it in and get your color where you want. You can go ahead and kind of go previous clip, next clip. I don't even know how yet to apply the grade from one clip to another. I'm sure you can, so I got to play with this a little bit more. I'm still indecisive whether or not I'm going to keep it. I bought it from B&H. You know, B&H, Adorama both have 30-day returns. B&H is usually my go-to. But just so you know, if something doesn't work out from, say, B&H, you could always return it as long as it's in good condition and you didn't, you know, abuse it or break it. And that's a cool thing, because then you can buy something else, exchange it, return it, and buy something that really serves you. You know, I'm waiting for the Mavic 4 Pro. If the Mavic 4 Pro dropped and they had a $5,000 Cine version, for example, I would send this thing back in a heartbeat and put this $500 plus towards that, because I know that's something I can use and make money with daily. And this is more of something to play with and just mess around with, but it's not something I feel is necessary at all. So we'll see. Maybe I'll play around with it and I'll like it, and my color grading game will step up a bar. The cool thing is, it kind of forces you to see what things do. Like, okay, you play around with whatever, I don't even know what each one of these do, but like lift or gain or gamma, and you can kind of see what's enhancing or making your footage worse. And as someone who does retouching, Photoshop, all that kind of stuff, really the undo, redo, it's kind of like before or after. You toggle it and you see, whoop, my little painting fell. Even this painting, I just went on a little road trip and I bartered with the guy, paid for my trip, threw in my little painting that I liked on the wall. That's how it all started. Got a cool dialogue with the owner. And yeah, anyway, always hustle, always make money, and always create and do cool stuff. But yeah, cool little bird painting. And anyway, so you let me know what you guys think of this micro color panel. Personally, I am not an expert user at any level in DaVinci Resolve. There's a 4,000 plus manual on that software. I probably am touching 5 to 10% of it. I've never even used the Fusion panel, for example. I really don't dive that deep. So I use it for what I need it for, and that's really it. So maybe this is for advanced users who really do have an expert level on the software. I don't, but I'm going to play around with it and I'll let you know, and I'll do a video on this very shortly. That will be the next video. So stay tuned. Let me know your thoughts on this micro color panel, if it's for you. But again, if I'm editing in bed and I'm just kind of chilling, relaxing, I don't want this obviously on my lap, and it's not going to be practical. So for me, again, less is more, and aloha. Bye, guys.